What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday to you. You're going to sometimes hear my air running in the background, and you just have to get over that background sound and respect the fact that I am premenopausal, over 40 woman, and it just sometimes we have our own summer, and it is summertime, so it's really killing me. But, anyways, someone was asking me, why do you think Republicans attract black men, more than black women? And the answer for me is pretty easy. When you look at Democratic media, the Democratic propaganda machine, which really dominates, I feel like in the last maybe 5 years, we've seen the rise of alternative Republican media, which has really given people a different side of the Republican argument. And, I think that a lot of people have been able to find some sensible, agreeable points on the Republican side when they have an, truly intelligent person facilitating the conversations. But I think, the biggest reason why Republicans attract black men more than Democrats do is because Democrats, like I said, specialize in leveraging their media to narrate black men certain ways, so that it really projects an image of them that keeps them held down in societies. And they do this with black people and people in general. But when you talk about the propaganda and the stereotypical images of black men and who is funding these images of black men, typically you're going to find a Democratic liberal machine. And if you look at also the props of the Democratic Party, they tend to focus on elevating black women above black men. And they like to create and they like to prop these abused black women who have been maybe demonized by a black man in some extent, and who can resonate to other women like that. It's always a struggle train of thought with them. And so they have to prop up people who have these unreconciled backgrounds in order to create an army of people with the same unreconciled background. So they prop black women quite a bit above black men. They empower black women more than black men. They actually, tend to put a non-black man behind the black woman to empower her and show her that she can be empowered, or a non-black person. Right? I was looking on X, and it's so funny. Somebody was saying that white liberals feel like they're surrogates for black women, which is really sad. But it was also an interesting perspective, because I find that when white liberal women encounter an intelligent black woman who may be running on a higher consciousness and intelligence than even them, they don't know how to process it. They're always trying to find some struggle point in which they can bring our confidence level or our mindset about ourselves down. And I'm not saying all white liberal women, but many of them tend to do that. They need us cleaving on to a struggle ideal of ourselves. But getting back to the point, when I look at some of the people, black-looking people on the Republican side, the one thing I do appreciate is that, when we're talking about the Republican faces, right? You're talking about your Burgess Owens, right? Your Byron Donaldsons, right? Your Tim Scotts, right? These are black men. Republicans always, if they're propping black people to be faces of their party, they are typically black men. These men, I look at some of the black faces on the Republican side, and I see a lot of black men on that side for a reason, right? They get in, they do their job. Some of them are big advocates to the party, right? Some of them, they're pretty subtle, right? Burgess Owens, I feel like he really kind of centers on just pragmatic conversational topics about understanding, social relations as it connects to laws and disenfranchisements of people. I think he's a very practical um, Black conservative man, right? And like I said, not all Black conservatives, and I should have, I did clean it up in my last video, but I do want to make a point of saying I don't believe that all Black conservatives are vile, evil demons in this nation. Just the ones that I particularly mentioned are, and I did talk about the graceful Black conservatives like your Condoleezas and your Thomas Sowells and your Walter Williams and your Shelby Steels, people like that, very pragmatic, straightforward, right? And they're not placating to any ideals of, what a Black person should be. They're just educated Black people. But off of that, that is my explanation. I do believe that Republicans do a great job at propping and promoting and identifying Black men. They don't elevate Black women above Black men. And I actually do like that. One thing I feel on a Democratic side, and as a Black woman, it has always made it very difficult for me to even trust Democratic type people, is that they're always leveraging somebody's race, instead of saying, I think that you're capable of doing this, they're just kind of like, I'm going to just, it's always it's almost like a tokenized pick, and I don't like the way they tokenize and leverage Black people the way they do. And this is why we have these ridiculous DEI arguments right now, because they have made a point of propping people who clearly lack the grace and the higher intelligence for certain positions. And it's not just because they're Black, because I see a lot of white people who lack the grace and intelligence for their position, and yet there they are. But I'm saying that, Democrats are very good at, putting people who are stereotypical images of Black people, Black women, right? And when you look at a lot of these people, they placate to the idealism of Black women, right? And even when I'm saying Black woman, I'm shaking my head because it's like I'm trying to get over these stereotypes, but it's just, it sucks. It sucks. But I'm going to give points to the Republicans because they never seem to have an interest in owning the Black narrative. And I don't think they've ever had an interest in just, maintaining an image of, Black people as hard as the Democrats. Now, your modern Republicans and some of their pundits, they definitely placate into the stereotypes. They do everything that they can to validate and substantiate the overall stereotypes about Black people. So you guys let me know what you think about this. Why do you think, Black men tend to gravitate to the Republican Party? Is it because they have noticed how the Democrats have tried to elevate their own women against them and empower their own women while creating images of them that keeps them disenfranchised? Or do you think there's another reason? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this content, like, share, and subscribe. Bye.